tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya. Meritorious devotees, now we are going to listen to a very beautiful sutta from Majjhima Nikaya, middle-length discourses of the Supreme Buddha. On one occasion, the Blessed One was living in the Sakyan country, where there was a town of the Sakyans named Medhathalumpa. Supreme Buddha was living in the Sakyan country. It is a province in India, and it also called as the birthplace of the Supreme Buddha, and where all relatives were living, the relatives of the Supreme Buddha. And there was a town in that province. The name of the town was Medhathalumpa. Now on that occasion, King Pasenadi of Kosala had arrived at Nagaraka, another city named Nagaraka, for some business or other. So, who is this king? King Pasenadi of Kosala. Then he addressed Dighakarayana. There was a minister with him. His name was Dighakarayana. So the king addressed his minister. Dear Karayana, have the state carriages prepared. Let us go to the pleasure garden to see a pleasing spot. Yes, sire, Dighakarayana replied. Okay, so now king is going to see a beautiful park. Some relaxing place. When the state carriages were prepared, he informed the king, Sire, the state carriages are ready for you. You may go at your own convenience. Now, you can go wherever you like. Who said this? The minister of the Pasenadi of Kosala king. Those days there were not vehicles with wheels and tires like today we have, but they had carriages dragged by elephants or horses. Okay. Then King Pasenadi mounted a state carriage, and accompanied by the other carriages, he drove out from Nagaraka city with the full pomp of royalty and proceeded towards the park. So, since the Pasenadi of Kosala was the king in the province of Sakyan country, a group of ministers, servants, and many other carriages also joined this journey. Now where are they going to go? To see a beautiful park, right? Even today people go to see beautiful places to calm their minds, to have relaxation for their minds. They like to go to see natural beauty, right? He went thus as far as the road was passable for carriages, and then dismounted from his carriage and entered the park on foot. Do you understand? So this park was a little bit far away from the city, so they could go from carriages to some distance, and then they had to dismount from the carriages and walked. As he walked and wandered in the park for exercise, King Pasenadi saw roots of trees. He saw huge trees, beautiful trees, full of leaves, that were lovely and inspiring. Very inspiring, beautiful, quiet, not crowded, and undisturbed by voices. Very quiet, calm, with an atmosphere of seclusion. Do you know the meaning of seclusion? Very good, ideal for meditation. Very peaceful. Remote from people. So here we can understand there is one difference between the parks at that time and parks at present. Normally we see some parks at present very crowded, right? Weekends and especially in summer. But this park, the king went to this park, it was very secluded and remote from people. There were no people there. Favorable for retreat. Again, it's very good environment for meditation practice. The sight of these quiet environment, huge trees, widespread roots of trees. The sight of these reminded the king of the Blessed One. Thus, who came to the mind of the king? He says, suddenly he remembered the Supreme Buddha. Before he came to the park, he didn't have any idea. He didn't think about the Supreme Buddha. Maybe he had some problems at home, some uncomfortable situations. So he just needed a peace of mind. But when he entered the forest, when he saw these quiet, calm, peaceful, secluded places throughout the park, maybe a forest, he remembered the Supreme Buddha's life. Can you guess the reason why he remembered the life of the Supreme Buddha? Because he knew Supreme Buddha also liked these types of places. And Supreme Buddha praised dwelling in these quiet places. So he remembered the Blessed One thus. These roots of trees are lovely and inspiring, quiet and undisturbed by voices, with an atmosphere of seclusion, remote from people, favorable for retreat. Like the places where we used to pay respect to the Blessed One, accomplished and fully enlightened. King remembered, we go to see the Supreme Buddha to such places. We meet the Blessed One in the very quiet places like this park. Then he told Dighakarayana what he had thought and asked, where is the Blessed One living now? Dighakarayana, where is he living now, the Blessed One, accomplished and fully enlightened? Arahang Samma Sambuddhu. Now, the king wanted to know where the Supreme Buddha was living. Then his minister, Dighakarayana, replied, there is a town of the Sakyans named Medatalumpa. The Blessed One, accomplished and fully enlightened, is now living there. Then the king asked. Now the king forgot his personal life, personal interests, and problems of his family life. He forgot everything and directed his mind towards the life of the Supreme Buddha. Even today, when we have problems, mental suffering, disappointment, people remember monks, right? They come to monasteries. That association is very pleasing to their hearts. That association with monks and other religious people relieves their hearts. So the same thing happened to this king. And the king asked, how far is it from Nagaraka city to Medatalumpa city? Now where is the king? At Nagaraka city. And the Blessed One is at Medatalumpa city. And how far is it from Nagaraka to Medatalumpa? It is not far, sire. 3 leagues. We could say 3 kilometers. More than that, right? There is still daylight enough to go there. Then, dear Karayana, have the state carriages prepared. Let us go and see the Blessed One, accomplished and fully enlightened. Now the king wants to go to see the Supreme Buddha, because he had faith in the Buddha. He had confidence in the Buddha. He had a pleasant mind about the Supreme Buddha. Yes, sire, he replied, and prepared carriages and informed the king. Then King Pasenadi mounted a state carriage and, accompanied by the other carriages, set out from Nagaraka towards the Sakyan town of Medatalumpa. He arrived there while it was still daylight and proceeded towards the park. Okay, so that also was a park, beautiful garden, where the Blessed One and the monks stayed. The king went thus as far as the road was passable for carriages, and then he dismounted from his carriage and entered the park on foot. Now on that occasion, a number of bhikkhus were walking up and down in the open. A number of bhikkhus were walking. Maybe they were doing walking meditation. Then King Pasenadi went to them and asked, Bhante, where is he living now, the Blessed One, accomplished and fully enlightened? We want to see the Blessed One, accomplished and fully enlightened. Now the king is eager to see the Supreme Buddha. Then the monks replied, King, that is the Blessed One's dwelling. That is, can you see that kuti is the Blessed One's kuti? With the closed door. King, go up to it quietly, without hurrying. Enter the porch, clear your throat, and tap on the panel. Go there slowly and quietly and knock on the door. The Blessed One will open the door for you. Supreme Buddha is the incomparable teacher for all three worlds. He is the teacher of gods, Brahmas, and Devas. He knew everything about this world. But he lived under a tree, in a cave, inside a cave in a forest, in a faraway little hut. When we think about popular people at present, we think like they are protected by bodyguards, right? Armies, people with weapons, right? Supreme Buddha was very famous. Many people respected and venerated the Blessed One, but he lived a very secluded life. Even the king could directly go to the hut of the Supreme Buddha and knock on the door. King Pasenadi handed over his sword and turban to Digakarayana then and there. Out of respect for the Blessed One, he didn't want to go there with his sword and crown and other ornaments of a king. Then Digakarayana, the minister, thought, so the king is going into secret session now, and I have to wait here alone now. So he understood with this behavior of the king is going to have a personal conversation with the Supreme Buddha. So I have to wait outside. It's not proper for me to follow the king. Without hurrying, King Pasenadi went quietly up to the dwelling with the closed door, entered the porch, cleared his throat, and tapped on the panel. Can you guess what happened? The Blessed One opened the door. Say, maybe the Blessed One was sitting in meditation and he stood up from meditation and he himself came to the door and opened the door. That humility, humbleness is incredible. Then King Pasenadi entered the dwelling. Now he was eager to see the Supreme Buddha. So now he got a chance to see the Supreme Buddha personally. Prostrating himself with his head at the Blessed One's feet, he covered the Blessed One's feet with kisses and caressed them with his hands, pronouncing his name. What happened? He entered the hut and bent down there, placing his head on the Blessed One's feet, and he started kissing, stroking the Blessed One's feet like an innocent son. And he pronounced his name. I am King Pasenadi of Kosala Bhante. I am King Pasenadi of Kosala Bhante. And Supreme Buddha was standing there, and without stopping, King was kissing the Blessed One's feet. And by that time, the king was 80 years old. Now he is like a little son in the presence of a father. This is confidence. This is how the king expressed his humble, honest faith and respect. Then the Blessed One asked, "But great king, what reason do you see for doing such supreme honor to this body and for showing such friendship?" Like the king is honoring the Supreme Buddha's body, right? Stroking the feet, kissing the feet. So Supreme Buddha asked, why? What is the reason? Why did you come here? Why do you show such a deep friendship? And the king answered, Bhante, I respect the Blessed One like this, I honor the Blessed One like this, and I show my friendship, my loyalty to the Blessed One because I infer according to Dhamma about the Blessed One. I recognized the Blessed One's life through the Dhamma. That is how this confidence of mine has well established. I recognized the Blessed One is fully enlightened, Samma Sambuddho. The Dhamma is well proclaimed by the Blessed One. Sakato Bhagavata Dhammo. The Sangha of the Blessed One's disciples is practicing the good way, the straight way. Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. I realized, Bhante, with a very good understanding of the triple gem, I realized the Blessed One is fully enlightened. Dhamma has been proclaimed very well. And the Sangha, the community of monks, is practicing the path of purity. Now I see some recluses and Brahmins, some religious people in other religions, leading a limited holy life for 10 years. And they separate from their families, they leave their families behind, their wealth, and become ascetics. So in the time of the Buddha, there were many other religions and sects. So there were many people who renounced the household life and became ascetics, and king had seen them for many years, and king had noticed that they practice austerities, torturing their bodies and experiencing various kinds of practices. They also lead a holy life, but a limited holy life for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years or 40 years. And then on a later occasion, I see them well groomed and well anointed with trimmed hair and beards, enjoying themselves, provided and endowed with the 5 cords of sensual pleasures. Now king says, Bhante, I can see people in other religions, they try to practice good things, but for a very short period of time. But after some time, I can see the same people, they have returned to their previous life. They abandoned families, but now again they go back. They enjoy with wives, sensual pleasures, wealth. They start earning money, looking after children, doing jobs. And enjoy entertainments. They didn't continue their holy life because it was very hard for them to live without sensual pleasures, and they returned. But here in the Blessed One's dispensation, I see bhikkhus leading the perfect and pure holy life as long as life and breath last. Do you understand? But monks, how do they lead their holy life? Do they have temporary ones? No. Do they have limited holy lives? No. These monks, they dedicate their whole life to this training. They keep training rules, precepts. Even for the sake of their life, they don't break these precepts. They practice until they die. The king had noticed this. Indeed, Bhante, I do not see any other religious life, holy life, elsewhere as perfect and pure as this. Now, king had a broader knowledge of the society and about other religions, because many people associated the king with the king. So king had this understanding, and now he had noticed. Only in the dispensation of the Supreme Buddha, one can see this perfect and pure holy life, the continuation of this training. This is why, Bhante, I infer according to Dhamma about the Blessed One. The Blessed One is fully enlightened. With that understanding, with that noticing that difference, the king came to a conclusion that how this happened. How could these monks lead their holy life until their death? Why don't they give it up on the way? Because of this excellent instruction, guidance of the Supreme Buddha. King says, when I noticed that difference, I understood the significance of the Blessed One. It is solely because of the Blessed One's instruction, compassionate guidance, these monks are able to do this. See how this confidence again goes back to the Supreme Buddha. I infer according to the Dhamma about the Blessed One. The Dhamma is well proclaimed by the Blessed One. Other religious teachings are not well proclaimed. That's why they are unable to continue that. But this Dhamma has been well proclaimed by the Buddha. Supreme Buddha has explained very clearly how to follow precepts. Now, if you think about a lay disciple, if they have a good confidence in this teaching, they also keep this training until their death, until their life lasts. For any gain, any profit, they are not ready to change their confidence. It is again because of their confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. And he understood the Sangha of the Blessed One's disciple is practicing the pure way. Supreme Buddha has explained very clearly the path to morality, the path to concentration, the path to wisdom and the path to liberation. So monks can follow the path diligently. They don't need to think, should I stop this? Should I return to my previous life? They don't need to think like that, because the path is very clear, perfect and profound. Okay, this is the second factor which helped him to develop confidence. Bhante, kings quarrel with kings. Brahmins quarrel with Brahmins. Householders quarrel with householders. Do you know quarreling? Fighting, arguing, disputing. Okay. Mother quarrels with son. Is it true? Yes. Son quarrels with mother. Father quarrels with son. Son quarrels with father. Brother quarrels with brother. Is it true? See, king has noticed that. Sister quarrels with brother. Friend quarrels with friend. See now, everywhere, what can we see? Quarreling, fighting, arguing. Yeah, disagreement, disputes. Even with family members, brothers, sisters, mothers, sons, daughters, everywhere. But here in this dispensation, Bhante, I see bhikkhus living in concord. with mutual appreciation, without disputing, blending like milk and water. Do you understand that simile? Blending like milk and water. Huh? When we take a glass of milk, can we separate this is water, this is milk? No. Now, king had noticed the association of monks is like that. Their life is the same. They think in one direction. They have one goal. Viewing each other with kindly eyes. They look at each other with kindly eyes, not with angry eyes, not with stubborn, dishonest, arrogant eyes. Always helping each other. I do not see any other assembly elsewhere with such concord and harmony. Now king says, I don't see any other religion and other religious people who live with such a harmony and concord, only in the dispensation of the Buddha. Bhante, this too is why I infer according to Dhamma about the Blessed One. The Blessed One is fully enlightened. Because of the Blessed One's training, they have these kinds of lives. Supreme Buddha has explained about harmony, living in harmony. Supreme Buddha has encouraged again and again to cultivate thoughts of loving kindness, how to pray gratitude, how to respect each other, how to evaluate others' good qualities. I infer according to the Dhamma is well proclaimed by the Blessed One. The Sangha of the Blessed One's disciples is practicing pure way. So this is the second factor which helped the king to develop confidence in this dispensation. What is the second factor? In the society, everybody is quarreling, fighting, disputing with their own arguments and opinions. But monks, in this training, they live like brothers and sisters, and even nuns, and they live very peacefully, and they look at each other with kind eyes. They are ready to forgive others' mistakes always. They confess their offenses, and always they rehabilitate. Other monks help them to rehabilitate. And others are ready to forgive those offenses. And when they do wrong things and make mistakes, readily they go to meet an elder monk and reveal their mistakes. They don't conceal. Okay? They don't hide their mistakes. So they build their mutual appreciation and relationship. Again, Bhante, I have walked and wandered from park to park and from garden to garden. There I have seen some recluses and Brahmins. I have seen some other religious people who are lean. Do you know lean? Not a good appearance of the body. Very lean, thin, wretched, unsightly, with veins standing out on their limbs, such that people would not want to look at them again. Like King says, I have seen some other religious people don't like to look at them. They don't have a pleasing appearance, right? And ribs have come out, and like they don't eat well, they don't have any peace in their minds, no rapture, joy, delightful mind states. I have noticed. Then I have thought, surely these venerable ones are leading the holy life in discontent. Discontent means unhappily. They don't have any interest in practicing this training. Or they have done some evil deed and are concealing it. Like when someone has done something wrong, if they still conceal it, hide it, this thing happened. Like their body gets thin and weakened, they don't eat well, they don't have a happy face or peaceful mind, because always that memory bothers them. So King thought maybe they have done something evil. So lean and wretched are they, unsightly, with veins standing out on their limbs, such that people would not want to look at them again. I went up to them and asked, why are you venerable ones so lean and wretched and unsightly? People don't like to look at you. Their reply was, it is our family sickness, great king. They said, it comes from our tradition. Because they didn't have a pure training to be rejoiced in. When they, because of their traditional and family backgrounds, they had to follow these rules, but they did not have any happiness through these training rules. But in this dispensation of the Buddha, I see bhikkhus smiling and cheerful, sincerely joyful, plainly delighting. Their faculties fresh. Faculties fresh means their eyes are bright, appearance of the face is bright, not pale, right? Delightful, joyful, smiling, cheerful. Their faculties, right? Eyes, face, faculties are fresh. Living at ease. Living at ease, no burdens. No burdens of families, no burdens of children, no burdens of mortgages, right? That is why if someone gets angry, others can see that anger through that person's eyes and face, right? It's radiation like that. If someone maintains a mind of loving kindness, compassion, thankfulness, then others like to associate with that person because they can see, they can notice that compassion. King had investigated this for a long time. I have thought, surely these monks perceive successive states of lofty distinction in the Blessed One's dispensation, since they abide thus. The king came to a conclusion. How could these monks live like this, with cheerful, joyful, delightful lives? Because they have understood the teachings of the Buddha, impermanence of this life, the the bliss of renunciation, and the bliss of letting go of things, happiness of giving up cravings, attachments, greed, hatred, anger, and these defilements. They have understood this Dhamma and they have developed good qualities. They have attained paths and fruit of this Dhamma. They have attained the stages of enlightenment. That is why they can live so happily. Right? Since they abide thus, smiling, cheerful, sincerely joyful, plainly delighting, their faculties fresh, living at ease, right? Living at ease. No exams, no studies, no homework. See? Isn't that an easy life? Why don't you try? Give it a try. But don't forget, not a temporary try. It should be continued, yes, as long as life lasts. Living at ease, unruffled, subsisting on what others give, abiding with mind as aloof as a wild deer's. This too, Bhante, is why I infer, according to the Dhamma about the Blessed One, the Blessed One is fully enlightened. How can these disciples live so happily? Because Supreme Buddha discovered a pleasant path and introduced it to the disciples. Disciples follow that path. So who should be praised? The Supreme Buddha, because he is the teacher. The Dhamma is well proclaimed by the Blessed One. Bhante, I realized from that. The Sangha of the Blessed One's disciples is practicing the pure way. I have confidence in the Buddha, in the Dhamma, and in the Sangha. See, now this confidence is well rooted and well established. Because the king has realized these things through investigation, right? And especially by evaluating the benefits of this Dhamma practice. That's why previously also we discussed that if children understand, and these kids understand the benefits of this Dhamma practice compared to other friends, the lives of other friends, if you understand how fortunate you are with this Dhamma practice, your parents don't need to force you. Because you know the benefits. You know how other friends are suffering when they break precepts, when they do bad things. How parents scold them. And how they are suffering. If you can understand, in my life, these sufferings cannot be seen. I have a peaceful life. I collect lots of merits. See, these merits give happiness to my life. When I recollect them, joy arises. It helps for my studies also. How happily I live with my mother and father, brothers and sisters. My house is like a peaceful place. It's very peaceful. How this happened? Because of this Dhamma practice. Our parents practice the Dhamma. They collect merits. They keep precepts. And we ourselves keep precepts. We ourselves practice loving kindness, compassion, patience. So, what is the reason for this peaceful life? Dhamma practice. then parents don't need to force their children to come to Dasapur to take 8 precepts to practice meditation. They know the value. Children don't need to force their parents. Please, mother, father, let's go to the monastery today. Please take us to the monastery. Children don't have to do that. So king got this opportunity to establish their confidence in this training by realizing himself the benefits of this teaching. Because do you remember how he came to this park? He had some mental suffering and disappointment. Then he remembered the Buddha's and monks' peaceful lives. It is because of this practice. Okay. Do you remember that third factor? Helping to develop confidence that the king just said. Do you remember? King says other religious people, are they? Do they have pleasing sights? Do they live happily? No, king had noticed that. But then monks are very happy, joyful, right? Because of that reason, the king understood the importance of the teaching of the Buddha. King says further, now where is this incident happening? Inside that little heart of the Supreme Buddha. Is there a big crowd listening to a sermon? No, now here we have a crowd here. But Supreme Buddha is sitting on his seat and king is kneeling down in the presence of the Buddha. And he expresses his gratitude. Again, Bhante, being a head anointed noble king, I am able to have executed those who should be executed, to find those who should be fined, to exile those who should be fined, who should be exiled. Right? The king has the power to punish people. Okay, kill this man. Or give this punishment. King has the power. Yet, Bhante, when I am sitting in council or in the court, they break, other people, my ministers and others, break in and interrupt me. Though I say, gentlemen, do not break in and interrupt me when I am sitting in council. Wait till the end of my speech. I ask them to stop. They are talking and chatting. Still they break in and interrupt me. Being the king, I have the power to punish them. But still they don't respect me. They don't have any fear towards me. They do whatever they like. But in this dispensation, Bhante, I see bhikkhus. While the Blessed One is teaching the Dhamma to an assembly of several hundred followers, and then there is not even the sound of a disciple of the Blessed One coughing or clearing his throat. Even the sound of coughing or clearing his throat. Everybody is paying close attention to the speech of the Blessed One. They don't want to speak because they know the Blessed One is our teacher, we are the disciples. Janati Bhagava, the Blessed One knows. Aham na janami, I don't know. They have this attitude. With eager ears, they are listening to the Blessed One. They don't interrupt, even with a slight noise. One day, I noticed this. One day, the Blessed One was teaching the Dhamma to an assembly of several hundred followers. And there a disciple of his cleared his throat. Right? Accidentally, unknowingly, he did that. Thereupon, one of his companions in the holy life, a fellow monk sitting near him, nudged him with his knee, touched his knee with his knee. He didn't shout there. And to indicate, he nudged him with his knee to indicate, be quiet, friend. Make no noise. The Blessed One, the teacher, is teaching us the Dhamma. You understand? I thought, it is wonderful, it is marvelous how an assembly, a large assembly like this, can be so well disciplined without force or weapon. Now as kings we have weapons, we have power, we can punish people, but the Blessed One doesn't have any weapon. He doesn't use even harsh words. Sit down, stand up. No, Blessed One doesn't use such harsh, rough words even. But still these disciples are well disciplined, well behaved. It is wonderful. It is marvelous. Indeed, I do not see any other assembly elsewhere so well disciplined. This too, Bhante, is why I infer according to the Dhamma about the Blessed One. The Blessed One is fully enlightened. Why do disciples respect like this? Because they know that the Blessed One has attained enlightenment. He has understood the danger of this samsara. He knows everything. He has escaped from this samsara. He just wants to help others. He has done what had to be done. He doesn't have anything more to do. But out of compassion, he is helping for others. He is the incomparable teacher of taming others. Disciples know this. The Dhamma is well proclaimed by the Blessed One. The Sangha of the Blessed One is practicing the good way. Okay? So like that, this king appreciated the dispensation of the Supreme Buddha. Again, Bhante, I have seen here certain learned kings and Brahmins, other religious people, knowledgeable about their teachings, as sharp as hair-splitting marksmen. Like they are very clever, intelligent, knowledgeable. They wander about, as it were, demolishing the views of others with their sharp wits. They can defeat other religions using their own doctrine. They argue with others. So, may all of us have the opportunity to develop confidence in the Supreme Buddha, confidence in the excellent Dhamma, and confidence in the Sangha who is following the pure way. And with that confidence, well-established, well-rooted confidence, may we have the opportunity to achieve true happiness, peace of mind, supreme bliss of Nibbana in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.